What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we are talking Week 16 preview of the Rams-49ers game on Saturday night. Over-under for this one is 44.5 right now, with the home team spread for the 49ers of about 6.5, so the Niners are favored to win this one pretty easily. I'm liking that line. I think it's about right. I don't think this will be a blowout by any means, but I do think the 49ers rebound after losing last week. Rams offense should be able to move the ball decently well, but the 49ers defense should see a little bit more of a resurgence with getting Richard Sherman back this week. So I like the 49ers in this one. I think that score sounds about right. With that being said, that leads into our starts, second guesses, and sits for the week. Starting Raheem Mostert and Todd Gurley, I think there would be a lot of running in this game. I'll start Robert Woods. And of course, you're starting George Kittle, but I'm still trusting Tyler Higbee. Looking at the second guesses, we will try to avoid Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo in this one. Also trying to avoid Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, and Emmanuel Sanders in this game. And I'm also trying to avoid both defenses, as I think there will be enough points scored that it won't warrant really wanting to start either defense here if you can avoid it. And then we're sitting Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman. We're sitting Kendrick Bourne, Brandin Cooks, and Gerald Everett this week. Okay, so as we normally do, we'll start with the away team. Looking at the Rams, this game is pretty hard to read overall. The 49ers have allowed a top 12 quarterback performance in 6 of their last 8 games, but they do get Sherman back this week, and I do believe the 49ers will look to rebound after losing the lead to the West in the West Division last week. The 49ers, really want to try to secure that bye week, get that number 1 seed, so they're going to come out and fight this one hard, and the Rams are just about eliminated unless the Vikings lose out. The Rams are pretty much out of playoff contention, so not sure how much fight the Rams will have in this one. I do think Goff is playable if you need to, but I'm looking elsewhere if I have a better option. On the running back side, Gurley's usage is what we've been waiting for all season, and he remains a touchdown threat every single time the Rams are in the red zone. Even if it's not running well through the ground, he still gets red zone targets through the air, so Gurley definitely has a decent upside and a high enough floor that you don't really want to consider benching him. Yes, I know this is a tough matchup as the Niners are playing really good against the run, but that upside that Gurley offers is just too hard to ignore. Unless you have an amazing option, I'm still sticking with Gurley. On the wide receiver side, the Niners, again, likely to get Sherman back this week, but that will depress the point totals a little bit, but he doesn't typically shadow one guy. Last week was a bit of a stinker, but Robert Woods has overall been the best receiver on this team for the past 4 or so weeks. He's the only receiver to play on 100% of snaps last week, so I'm still starting Woods. I'm going to give him the trust that he deserves after he had played so well previously. I'm looking to bench Cooper Kupp if I can. Kupp has played well, but he's been way more inconsistent over the back half of the year, and I think that the 49ers play very well against receivers like Cooper Kupp, so I'm not necessarily looking to start him. And then Brandin Cooks still hasn't shown us nearly enough to warrant a start, so we're sitting him. On the tight end side, Gerald Everett is back this week, but we have no idea the snap share that he's going to get, being limited with a knee injury. We don't know whether or not he's going to come back to a full allotment. I would venture to guess no. And McVay is also a very rational coach. Higbee has been playing at an incredibly high level over the past 3 weeks, getting 100 yards in each one of those weeks. And honestly, every time that they throw the ball to him, he's completely wide open. So he's been beating defenders all over the field. I'm just staying in the flames with this one. I'm not scared with Everett coming back. I'm rolling out Higbee in every league that I got him. On the defensive side, I'm pausing on starting the Rams D. The Niners have either struggled or destroyed faces on offense, so I'm really not sure what this game is going to end up being, but I just don't want to risk this being a destroy faces game with the Rams defense in my lineup in Week 16. On the 49ers side, Jimmy Garoppolo has become the boom-bust version of a quarterback this year. He's had 5 boom games in 9 games where you're disappointed starting him. Now, if he has a boom game, you'll be disappointed that you didn't start him, but I don't want to risk those odds going into my championship week where you can't afford a dud at such an important position. If you have a better spot, a better start than Jimmy Garoppolo, take it. On the running back side, in the last 5 weeks, the Rams have allowed the 4th most points to the running backs. Matt Breida fumbled twice last week, and Tevin Coleman has barely seen the field, so I think this one's pretty easy. Mostert didn't have a strong fantasy game last week, but he looked great every time he got the ball, so Mostert is a strong play this week, and I'm benching the other options. On the wide receiver side, last week, Garoppolo basically forgot that he even had receivers. He threw 17 targets to George Kittle and 9 to all other receivers combined, leaving us with a very low floor for the likes of Sanders and Samuel. I'm looking to other options for this one, but that's dependent on the strength of your other options. If you have to start one, I'd go Samuel because Sanders will likely draw a Jalen Ramsey shadow, but not really too hot on either option this week. And then on the tight end side, of course, you're starting George Kittle because he's the best tight end in the league, and you're always going to play the best tight end in the league every single week. On the 49ers defense, I'm pausing on this one as well. They've definitely not been playing as well ever since they've sustained, a couple brutal injuries. You probably find a non-division game with more clarity on how the final score will turn out that gives you more upside. So if you can avoid playing either defense in this one, that'll probably be smart. So again, I'm going to say this one's going to hit pretty close to the over-under, maybe slightly over, and I do like the 49ers to win this one, but I do think there's a lot of uncertainty with how this one is going to turn out, so use that in your analysis to decide who to start. Hopefully this helped you guys. Again, I know this time of the year can be very difficult to focus on your fantasy team, so we're just trying to make it a little bit easier for you. If you do have any specific questions, feel free to comment below. I'll be sure to answer them and help you guys get the best lineup that you can to win those fantasy titles. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.